Hey guys, this is Matt. Want to do a quick layout update. It's been a while since I've done one. I've had a lot of stuff going on outside of the training room. My daughter is 2 years old, and the terrible twos have definitely set in with her. So it's been kind of hectic dealing with her. Besides that, I also work on an ambulance, so I've been trying to get all my research done for my license for that. So that's why I haven't been able to come up here and do a video. Anytime that I have, I just come up here just to do a little bit of tinkering here and there, and that's just because I just have to get my mind off of things. But today I had some extra time, so I figured that I would get this done. One disclaimer: a lot of cars are derailed, and that's because I've been doing all the wiring underneath. The way that I did my track plan, when I laid it all out, I put all the cars on it just to see how many I could fit on, if there's going to be enough room, if I needed to put more track down. So that's why I put everything out in the first place. But now that I'm going back and doing the wiring, obviously, hammering from underneath, screwing from underneath, it's just kind of rattled all the cars, off the track. So, just keep in mind that's what has happened. So that's why there's a lot of derailments. I think probably like maybe a handful of cars are still on the track. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you around. We also had one other issue come through. For some odd reason, we were having power glitches, and because of that, it actually damaged a few of my LED lights. So, like as you can see behind me in the Milwaukee yard right here, the lights that are underneath, for some odd reason, it blew the ballast on all those lights, and a couple more around the layout. I don't have all the lights on, only because with those having the damaged ballast, it trips sometimes, so I don't want it to trip while I'm in the middle of doing this video. So with that all being said, we're going to go on and I'm going to show you what I've been doing for wiring and what I've gotten done so far on the layout. So here we go. Okay, first thing I'm going to show you is the wiring diagram that I have set up. So we will start with the main right here, and now each color is a different block. So all of this is the original layout, and so that ends right there. You can see how that one comes around and ends there. Then this one goes to right here. So I have it all set with the different blocks. This is the main level, and then right here this is the lower level. And once again, this is the original layout, and then this is all the new layout. The only thing I'm doing differently on this is the staging is going to be its own block, so I do have to run a wire for that. I have not built this staging yard yet, or this crossover onto the new desk for the Y. The reasoning for this is a few things. One, I'm going to have more staging. I'm going to try to zoom in on this so you can kind of see the track plan. So I'm going to try to have a little bit more staging right here. And then I can also have a run-through track that goes up and either can go back on itself, and I'll have the AR1 there, or it can continue on into the new area. I can also use this Y as a reversing for all the locomotives that are sitting right here on the NS yard. But I can just use that track, that staging track, as just kind of more storage on the layout with a run through in it. So there's that one, and then the upper level right here is all one block. And so the way that I have it set, I'm going to bring back the main level, because right here is where it breaks off of the main level and starts going up the helix. So right at the break there, and I'll show you this on the layout, but that is where the new block will start. and continue up and continue on all throughout this area. And then again, you know, an AR1 will be, you know, put in for this track. So that's how I have that set up. Now I'm going to show you the wiring that I've been doing so far. So every so often, what I've done is I've made one of these blocks, and and with these blocks, I'm using these Vampire 2s, where you put the, you know, bus line in here, bus line goes out here, and then right here goes to the track. And so what I've been doing with this is, this way, this will feed all of my yard tracks that are right up here. So all of those will get tied in. I still have to drop all the wires, but that's how I have that set up. Then coming around, you know, again, you can see I've got one of the bus lines right there. You know, and for the upper loop, or for the upper level, you know, again, that's just one block, you know, whereas down here, you know, you can see I've got multiple wires. You know, this one goes to another block. I still have to run the other red for this one. But again, it comes to another one of these breaks where it then feeds all the extra tracks. So with that being said, then the other thing that I've been doing is, you know, I've got the Y right here, and I have put the AR1 in for that one, as well as the one right there for the reversing loop right here. The other thing that I've been doing is I've been going around and I've been putting, I've gotten 9 DS64s so far. I still need to get, I think, another 11 of them. And so what I've been doing is, as I've put them out, I've made little paper tags so that I know which unit is which. So this is my 11th unit, and on that 11th unit, I have Turnout 111. So the first two numbers are the unit number itself, so it's 11, and then that's the first turnout. Then you have the second turnout, third turnout, and that's the fourth turnout there. So that's how I've gone about putting these on, so that way I know which ones I have. You know, and then that way, when these are underneath the layout, I know, you know, okay, hey, you know, this is number 10 right here. So, you know, if I have an issue with, you know, one of these turnouts, I know, okay, it's, you know, unit 10 because of the numbering system. But also with that, it also keeps track of which turnout is which, and which one goes to which unit. So that's how I have that set up. You know, again, I still have to get, you know, about 11 more of those. But you can see I've done a lot of scenery work. The yard is all filled in again. I still have to finish the ballast inside of the yard. You know, there's some areas that kind of came up when vacuuming up the excess. I'm waiting on Arizona Rock and Mineral to send me those. As far as what I've been told from them, the rock that I ordered, they are in the middle of crushing it right now, so that's been about, say, since the middle of January, so hopefully soon those will be here. I have a new signal installed right here, and that governs the two tracks here. I have the dwarf signal that covers that, or that governs the siding. And then coming over at the station, I put these two signals in. And then coming along here, you know, you can see I've done a lot more scenery work. And right over here I have my defect detector right there. So each one goes to each track. And that's by Boulder Creek. It's actually a pretty cool system. Then I have another one of my signals there. Now this one right here, it's a little different. It's a half mast, and that's just going to be blinking yellow just so that way any trains that enter know that this is the yard entrance, and to be cautious on any of the turnouts so that because they're probably not going to be aligned properly to what they want. But here's my river scene that I have. Now, the only other thing I have to do is, I just have to go back and, touch up the blue paint in a couple areas. But I'm thinking right around here or right over here, I'm going to build a little beaver den, just to kind of add a little bit more interest in. I've got a little bit of a hill right here. And then this is the drive-in theater. All the fencing has been put up, and so I color matched. I went to Home Depot and I color matched what was on the back of that drive-in sign, and so then I just used that color match paint for that fence itself, so that way it kind of, went all together. So it looks a little bit nicer than just having it be a, the brown fencing. Then with the road right here, I've got this in so far. I still have to weather it, and then from here on, I'm going to wait until I get the scenery up here done, so then that way I can work on the scenery down here, and then I can work on the scenery down there. So that way it kind of just trickles down from this layout or this level to this level to that level. But that's basically why I've gotten up to here done, because there's nothing above it. And so as I go down below, and again, I apologize for the mess. You can see I've started with the scenery work in here. It's not done. Again, these things, they were all nicely stacked there, but with the pounding, it kind of moves them around. I added in a old track as if it is an old abandoned track that no longer is necessary. The other thing I added in here, I have my 4 fuel tanks for the storage, so that way when these trains are unloaded, it has 4 tanks to go in before it gets put into ships to be sent out. Or it can come from the ship, go in, and go into those, and then go into railroad cars and off. But it's just I wanted to get those in so that way it had more of the illusion. I also added these little berms. What they're made for is in case if there's a leak, the entire thing can leak out and it'll stay contained inside that berm. And that's how they are in real life, so that way the spill doesn't go everywhere. One thing I have been using that's a little different, for the hillside here, for this, for all those, for building the berms, I have actually just been using grout. So I just put that on, and then I have a couple different tools to kind of like tamp it down, and then I have some balsa wood to spread it out. This is what I cut out to make these. So then I just kind of went around and spread it out like that. So it's actually an easy way of doing that, and you don't need to be cutting all the foam and figuring out what you need to do. So all I do is once I sprinkle it on, build my shape that I want, I just use a spray bottle of water and I just spray it down. And so once it's all sprayed down, it's secured. I'll go around the perimeter with scenic cement, and then it's in and you don't have to worry about it. So that's how I did all of my mountains so far. Did the banks, all the hills, everything like that's all done in that same way. So moving on from there, the other thing I've done right in here, I used to have a grain elevator right here that had a couple of tracks. just because it wasn't really doing a whole lot. So I took that out, and this is actually going to be the Green Bay and Western main line that comes in and meets with the Wisconsin Central. So that's how I've done that. I have 12 millimeter wheat for a wheat field all in here, and I have a radio tower right here that's going to be in the middle of the wheat field with a small little road going to it. Again, you can see I've got the DI-64. This is number 8, and then I've got 801, 802, 803, 804, and this 901. That's only because with the 9, I have that one set because it interacts with this line and it connects with the one over here because this is number 9. So from there you've got, oops, sorry about that. You have 901 right there coming down this siding and coming into 902 so that those two can communicate and be on the same page when I switch it to here. That way this siding will become active for any train to pass. So that's how I have that all set up. Haven't done any more scenery on this area. One thing I have changed right over here. Now this used to be, this is the C&E, and it used to continue on straight with a turnout right there. I took that out and I put in this crossover with this track coming down right into the main here. So what I have set up is the C&E again crosses the Milwaukee mains and goes into the C&E yard right here. Then it crosses right there and goes through that small little tunnel to the other side and connects in with Milwaukee, where this one is the Canadian Pacific / Canadian National line. Their joint line comes in and meets in with Milwaukee and can go to the Milwaukee yard. So that's how I have that set up, just to kind of add in that I can use a little bit more foreign power. Again, this layout, it's I know that it's mainly the Milwaukee Road, but because I grew up in the Midwest, in Milwaukee, with that area, there's multiple railroads. So that's why I have multiple railroads on this layout. There's not one main line that's just one railroad without it without it actually connecting to a different railroad. So I will give a tour on that a little bit later. That's going to be a much longer video of how each of those are done, but I'll do that a little bit later on. Then right here I added this in, this little road that goes across. I've got a parking lot right there. The road kind of goes off. This is going to be a waterfront like a walkway, because this is the new bridge that's going to go in this span here. So this is going to be what's on this track right here. I'm not going to do the ravine only because I've always wanted this bridge, and my wife ended up getting it for me for my birthday. So after I put it together, I was like, you know what? I'd rather have this than the ravine. This adds a little bit more, character to the layout. And also I know, I remember seeing these all over in Milwaukee, as well as, just with the rivers that we have going to the Great Lakes or going back to the Mississippi. So I'm just used to seeing these. I love them. They're old and really kind of cool looking, so that's why I wanted to add that in. But I added in a little train park right here. An old Milwaukee Road caboose. This is going to be a viewing platform of the diamond right here. And again, you've got the Illinois Central that, it's the Illinois Central and Rock that are right here that then interchange with the track there. And because this is the old Milwaukee Road main line that's now Wisconsin Southern, that's why you have the Milwaukee Road caboose, as well as you still have, oops, sorry about that. You still have the Milwaukee Road Herald on the bridge itself. So I added that in. I thought that was kind of neat. But other than that, that's about all the work that I've gotten done. Or actually, I do have one other thing. So up here, I put the track in going up to the mine. And so up here, I've got a scale house, which is going to have a weigh station. That's by Boulder Creek Railroad. They're really neat. I got one on the other side of the layout. And that feeds that coal mine right there. And then that way they can come down the track. And yes, it is a very steep track. That's why there's only a few cars on. And then it feeds the yard that has every single one of the cars derailed. So that's all the work that I have been up to lately. The only other thing that I have added so far is right here. And that is, I put in my new workbench here. And then you can see, as I go down, that's the NS yard. And it's going to connect onto the 2x4 there. Come across here. And right here is where the Y is going to be. And connecting in with the track right there. And going off that way into the layout. So that's how I have that set. Then, again, the Y is going to come across here. And that's my old computer desk that's going to be gone. And that's where the new staging yard will be. And the crossover right here. So that's how I have that set up. But other than that, haven't done a whole lot more except feeding a whole bunch of wire everywhere. And I'm thankful that one of my good friends, Sam, has been able to come over and help me with it. Without him, it would have just been a nightmare trying to get all 12 bus lines done. The way that I have it all fed comes right into here. So from here, I've got my command station. I have 2 boosters. I've got 1 power pack for the 2 boosters. And then from there, the command station will feed up to the first PM64, also with 1 booster going in, the other half of the booster going to that one, and then that booster going to that one. And I have all 12 blocks listed. And then right there I have my Wi-Fi connector. So that way I have this all set up on this board. I want to make it so that it's simple, so that if I do have a block issue, I don't have to go hunt down on the entire layout where it is. I'll know which block, and then underneath the layout I have where each block starts and where each block ends, so that way if I'm underneath the layout I can see, hey, this is the end of block 4 and block 5 starts here, and then end of 5, start of 6, so that way I know, okay, well, within this one block I have the issue, or whatever. So that's how I have it set up. It's a mess right now only because I'm in the middle of trying to pull everything out from underneath, run wire, then put everything back, reorganize it. But with that being said, that's all that I've got for this update. I hope you guys like it, and I will see you guys on the next one. I will try to do one of the entire layout, including the old section. Kind of give what I'm going to probably do is do like a small little series, and each railroad that interchanges will be its own little series. So like down here, is the Milwaukee Racine and Troy. And then I have the Union Pacific. So each one will have its own little series of where that track goes, what trackage rights it has, so on and so forth. So that's how I have it. So that's how that way you guys can understand what I have set up and the idea that I have in my mind of how this is going to work. So with that being said, thank you guys, and I will see you guys on the next update.